Mr. Allen here with some celebrity guests. We got Dr. Dre is planning to install new acoustic panels in his recording studio. He and Snoop Doggy Dogg decided to make some calculations on their own to save on that cheddar. You dig? He has 3 walls to cover, each 10 feet tall. So 3 walls of this room. I'm guessing that 4th wall is maybe glass, right, to see into the studio, you know what I'm saying, right? Okay, 2 of the walls are 12 feet wide and 1 is 20 feet wide. If the panels are 30 inches by 36 inches, we got a unit change here. How many panels will they need to order? Whew, loaded question here. So we got 3 walls to cover. Perhaps we draw up these 3 walls that he has. So we have 2 of them that are 10 foot by 12 foot. So we got a couple rectangles here, one and another one just like it. And then we've got one that's 20 feet wide, but also 10 feet tall. So make that one a little bit wider. All right, so we've got 10 feet tall for all of these, right? And then here we've got 12 feet, and we got 20 feet. So what do we need to figure out here? Well, I think we should probably start with our areas of each one of the walls that we want to cover. So my area for this first one here would just be 10 times 12, which is going to be 120 feet squared. Same is going to go with this one. And then the last one there, different dimensions. Well, one of them is the same, right? We got 10 times 20 now, and that's going to be 200 feet squared. All right, so we've got all of our areas here. Could we figure out the total area that we need to cover in this particular room? I think we could. So my total area, we'll make that yellow. Our total area is going to be the 120 plus 120 plus 200. So 120 plus 120, that's 240. So we're looking at 440 feet squared. All right, so that's the total area that we need to cover here, but what about the panels? The panels are 30 inches by 36 inches. I'm gonna do that in pink. So my area of the panel, so area panels is gonna be 30 by 36. And what's that total area? Well, 3 times 36 is 108, so we can pop an extra 0 on there, and we're gonna have 1,080 inches squared. So let's take a look at our units there. We have 440 feet squared, and we have 1,080 inches squared. We need to convert one of these to the other one. Really, it's our choice as to what we want to do, but we got to be careful with these conversions. So I got my calculator up here, and when I'm converting in area, my units are squared, and that's the main thing we need to remember. So if I'm going to convert my area of the room from square feet to square inches, I'm going to need to take that 440, and I'm going to need to multiply it by, well, how many inches are in a foot? 12 inches are in a foot, but we're talking area, so that needs to be squared. So in other words, I'm multiplying by 144. So now I have 63,360 inches squared. Okay, so that's my conversion right there. So what can I do with that information? Well, I can take that 63,360 inches that I need to cover, and I can divide it by the total coverage of one panel, which is 1,080. And if I do that, I end up getting 58.6 repeating. So 58.6 repeating. Let's call that 59 panels is what they'll end up needing to order. Now, they might want to add some extra panels there, you know, just because, hey, there might be some weird cuts as they're doing that in the walls, but that would be their number that they'd be going with. Maybe they add like an extra 10% or whatever, add a few extra panels just to make sure they're all covered. Now, I know what you're wondering. Hey man, would we get the same answer if I were to have converted the 1,080 to square feet? Well, how would I do that? Okay, so if I wanted to convert the square inches to square feet, I would divide this by how many inches are in a foot? 12. But I would need to square that 12, so essentially I'm dividing by 144. So now I have 7.5. That's how many square feet one of those panels covers. And if I take the 440 that it is to cover the room, and I divide that by the 7.5, I would end up getting the same answer. So either way you do it, all set. The most common mistake that people make in this one is they multiply their area or divide their area just by straight up 12 and not 12 squared, forgetting that they're in area, their units are squared, so we need to square our conversions as well. That's dope, right? Just like this coffee right here, you know, in the America mug. You guys have a great day. See ya.